Eugene here with a review on the Ressha Sentai ToQger Ressha Gattai Series 12 DX Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. Yes, friends. Well, let's go ahead and start off with the box. Right here it says Ressha Sentai ToQger right here. And right here it says Ressha Gattai Series 12 DX Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. And of course we have the 1, 2, 3 steps of Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh, Hyper Ressha Terminal, and of course Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. On the top of the box, it just shows you that, of course, we can put our the 5 rushes of Tokyo into the Hyper Ressha Terminal. Got a nice shot of Hyper Tokyo Ichigo, and of course the face of Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. On the bottom, more 1, 2, 3 steps of the Hyper Ressha, the Terminal, Tei-Oh, and of course Tokyo Rainbow, and of course the functions. And on the back of the box, friends, we got a nice shot of Tokyo Rainbow right here, and Tokyo Rainbow doing his final attack, and the 12 rushes right here at the bottom, and of course giving us a little indication how tall this guy is as the final mecha. Well, okay, friends, here it is, the final mecha, which made its debut as Hyper Ressha Terminal in episode 31. So pretty much, we get our first glimpse of Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh in this mode, pretty much. And made its debut as Hyper Ressha and Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh in episode 32 of ToQgers. So that's the other 2 modes that Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh has. They say 3, but it's really 4 modes. Pretty much this is a neat little storage here. You can put your 5 rushes that come along with Tokyo, and so you can have a lot of train fun with this. Well, friends, I will be very, very honest with you guys. This is rather long. So as you can see, it's taking a lot of my review station here. But clearly, the Hyper Ressha Terminal is 20 inches long. And if you remember at the beginning, I showed off the box, and you saw the way it was standing and showing the back of the box. It's rather long, and so pretty much this is making the box roughly 22 inches long. So yeah, this guy is rather long. So if this looks out of camera shot, I apologize in advance. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the Hyper Ressha Terminal, and I'll get a little closer here. But as you can see, there are designated spots for each Ressha. You pretty much have about 12 rushes coming in here, locking in place, and mainly for the final mode of this guy, which is Tokyo Rainbow. But anyway, as you can see, we got little sliders here and switches. Pretty much, we got about these 3 sliders come up, these 2 come up, and these 2 come up. So basically, that's what these little switches are for, to raise these little sliders up, which is really cool. And I'll put them all back down. But really cool. But pretty much this whole mecha, you will see a lot of gray, a lot of black, and a whole lot of gold and red on here. So be prepared, But here's the front part of the terminal here. You can see this is Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh's hands here, But pretty much they're being used as weapons now that he's in the terminal mode. And then here's the little platform to make the rushes go in. And right here. And of course, this little warning sign will tell you, with this button here, when you turn into the Hyper Ressha, to not have any fingers intact, pretty much, or in place of it. So, just giving us a fair warning. But here's the back of the Ressha. I mean, the terminal, you can see it's got the back piece of it. And you'll see more of it whenever I transform it into the Ressha. But anyway. And then here's the bottom part. We're seeing more gold, friends. And then here are all the wheels. So all in all, there's not really much to it for this mode. With Red Ressha first. We'll put him right here. And there's not really a designated spot yet, but let's go ahead and put Green Ressha next. And I'll put it right here. And as you can see, they fit rather well. And so here is Blue Ressha. We'll put Blue Ressha right over here. And finally, Pink and Yellow. We just put Yellow right over here. And Pink right here. And I'll give you a good little zoom here. So And that's how you do it pretty much. And it's a nice little thing for you to store your Ressha's in. And I'm going to do a different little angle just so you guys can see. But really, really neat, huh? So, but yeah, this is something neat, and I kind of like this when it comes to the 5 Ressha. Before I get to this real quick, let me get back to Hyper Ressha Terminal. You can also do other. You can also put other Ressha's in there, such as the Safari Ressha, Build Ressha. You can put Diesel Ressha. You can put any Ressha in the Hyper Ressha Terminal and have a whole lot of train fun. But anyway, well, speaking of train fun, let's talk about this. This is the little mini Hyper Ressha that comes with Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh, and this part is pretty much Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh's face part, pretty much. But if you look at it, and you can see nicely done in a gold, black, white, red, and all around cool. You know, you can do, and you can also perform sounds from this. So let's go ahead and hear what it has to say. Cool. And now let's summon the Hyper Ressha. Easy. Pretty much all the modes in pretty much on Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh are very, very simple. But anyway, let's go ahead and put these arms in. Same thing with the other side. Now, the next fun part here is this button I was talking about earlier about, you know, caution you not to pinch your fingers or anything else. So let's go ahead and push this down, and then this part will come. And remember to keep your finger on it. And make sure this front part of the Ressha snaps in. Okay. So now this is taking less of my review station. So on the top right here, there is a designated spot for you to put the little Hyper Ressha here. And so we'll put it right here, and it fits rather well. So friends, here it is, the Hyper Ressha. Pretty much the next mode. But anyway, so as you can see, it's got wheels here. And you see we're seeing more of gold and black and red on this mecha. Now on the back here, and pretty much on the sides here, we're seeing a gap here. And that's the only gripe I have, you know, with the gap on the Ressha here. Now, on the back here, we're seeing a little more of the gap, pretty much, you know. So that's pretty much how it's been with the ToQger mechas, pretty much. I mean, we're seeing a whole bunch of flat mechas, and, you know, now this, pretty much, you know, mechas with gaps in between. And here's the top view. And then, and, you know, rolls rather well. And then here's my favorite part of this mecha. I like this front part where it has the ToQger emblem here. Talk about awesome, you know. Making it look more like a train here in the front, pretty much. And got the little weapons. Now the next mode, and that is Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. And so pretty much this is a very easy transformation, and you'll find out whenever I do this. So let's go ahead and remove this, the little Hyper Ressha, Hyper Ressha. So and pretty much all we got to do is just raise this guy up. And I know probably some of you guys are thinking that's it. Yeah, apparently yes. So now to complete this transformation, all you need now is the head. And so flick this up, and this becomes the head. And it goes right here at the top. And so there you go, friends. So here he is. This is Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. And he's all around cool looking. I'm just not a 100% fan of the toy. I pretty much prefer him in the show. And I think it's mainly because, and let me focus out. Mainly it's because of right here, where the legs here. I'm not really a fan of this part here. That's the only gripe I've had, but anyway, he's got some nice articulation in the arms. That's pretty much all he can do in the arms, you know. Here's a side angle of him, you know. You can still see that gap pretty much. And then on the back of here, you know, you can see his wheels. I mean, he's not bad. He's not bad. Anyway, and I do dig the fact that we're seeing more gold on this guy. Alright, real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys Drill Ressha and Shield Ressha. These two are Gashapons. These came from CS Toys, and so I want to go ahead and show you guys these off and hear their sounds. So anyway, here is Shield Ressha, you know, got his pins here, and pretty much you can see it's like a dark green and got some gray and some white, and the mouth doesn't open. It's a Gashapon. So anyway, let's go ahead and perform the sounds. Okay, let's summon it. Okay. Now let's take a look at Drill Ressha. So done in like a kind of like a purple a little bit here. You can see the drill does spin here, and got some white here, and it's really nice looking. This one cannot combine with Build Dio or ToQger. Just figure I'll let you know. Pretty much the same thing with this one too. But anyway, but it's still cool, and you can still combine it with ToQger Rainbow, and that's what you're gonna see in the next part, and you can still perform the sounds. So let's go ahead and hear Drill Ressha's sounds. And let's summon it. So let's go ahead and flick these switches up so we can have these sliders up and ready. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So let's go ahead and get Red Ressha first. And so all you gotta do is just slide it over here, and it slides rather well. So now let's get Blue, and Blue goes right over here. Let's get Green. Green goes right here. Yellow goes right here on this arm over here. And Pink goes right here. And so let's go ahead and get Build Ressha and put Build Ressha behind Pink. Diesel Ressha behind Yellow. And we'll go ahead and get Car Carrier and Tank. So Tank goes behind Green Ressha, and Car Carrier goes behind Blue. And then Fire and Police. Police goes right here. And Fire goes right here. And finally, the last two, Shield and Drill. And so Shield goes right here behind Car Carrier, and Drill goes right here behind Tank. Button right here in the middle, so we push it, and this will help ToQger Rainbow stand. And of course, we do definitely need the legs, right? So let's go ahead and raise this guy up. And so let me make sure I got him in camera shot here. Okay. And so now we need to go ahead and complete this transformation. So let's put this down, and that's got the ToQger emblem right here. Now, right here on the back, this piece will come up. You rotate it around, and there is ToQ Rainbow's face. And so now this is where the mini Hyper Ressha is concerned. So we peg it right here on the back. And let me raise up a little bit there. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. And so it pegs in right here at the top. And so as you can see, he is taking a lot of camera frame here. So just bear with me here. And we'll fix it right there. So here we go, friends. Here is ToQ Rainbow. And I gotta say, this is really bringing more color to the mecha. And he looks really, really cool, I have to say. I do like this. I don't know if any other viewers like this mode, but I really dig it. I really dig it. And so, anyway, well, here's some more fun we could do with this mecha. And let me... But right down here is the hands here. And, you know, it's pretty much for fun. I mean, this is where the final attack for ToQ Rainbow is concerned. You can peg it on to here. We got a little peg connector right here. And so we just connect it right here. And we can do the other one on the other side. And so that's pretty much the whole deal here, you know. Really, really cool. And then I'll turn him on the back just to give you guys a view of what he looks like in the back. So yeah, he is rather huge, and but he is cool though. So one more time, I'll zoom in on his face here. Well, my final thoughts on this mecha, and well, going back to Hyper Ressha Terminal, it was okay. It wasn't nothing too spectacular about it. All it did was just a little place to store your Reshas, but it was a nice little thing and a nice little mode mainly. The Hyper Ressha was nice looking. I did like that. The fact where you put the little mini Hyper Ressha in the place like right here, pretty much. And it was a nice little add-on, but the one thing I did like about the Hyper Ressha, it had the ToQger emblem. I really like that. Now, this guy right here, Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. The one thing that's throwing me off here is mainly this area with the legs. It's pretty much throwing me, but I like the Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh mainly on the show, but not a fan of the toy. Now, the final mode, ToQ Rainbow, awesome. It really brought more color to the Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh, Hyper Ressha Terminal. It really brought more color. That's pretty much the whole deal with ToQgers, with their whole color scheme. Now, just to correct myself, and I didn't say this when I was doing a combination with ToQ Rainbow, but ToQ Rainbow made his debut in episode 35 of ToQgers. And so, but mostly, friends, the end of the season mechas will be rather costly, even the big ones. Of course, when we get end of the year mechas, they are huge, and of course the boxes are huge, such as this one here. And of course the shipping is going to be a rather pain for it. But do I recommend this? Yes, I do. But be prepared to pay a lot for this guy. I am very serious about that. So what am I saying is about this mecha? It is very, very decent. But anyway, well, friends, that is it for this review. Please check out my blog, follow me on Twitter, and to like my Facebook. And friends, this is the review on the Ressha Sentai ToQger Ressha Gattai Series 12 DX Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. Well, I'm Eugene, I'm signing out, and I hope you have a good day. And my friends, I will most assuredly see you next time. Bye.